Mark Carney and the Liberals are being called out by former Member of Parliament Dr. Jean Augustine, who incidentally is the first black woman elected to the House of Commons. Why is Dr. Augustine unhappy with the federal Liberals? Well, it's because apparently, as Canada sets up a diversity council to root out the cause of hatred in Canada, Mark Miller didn't feel it was important to have any black people on the council. Sources close to Miller suggest that he felt that if the group pooled all of their melanin together, they could probably get murked by a Toronto cop while running away, so that was good enough. Realistically, since this committee's primary purpose is to put a bunch of smart people into a room and have them pretend as if the root of nearly all hatred in Canada isn't economic inequality, and it will be their job to ignore the constant assault by the media, conditioning us to see other working class people as our enemies rather than the dragons who hoard the wealth while children starve. It makes me wonder why the government wouldn't have worked to include a black person who could also dance around the obvious. They do exist. CNN hires them all the time. Now, much to my surprise, when looking at the people included on the council, I was shocked that there was, in fact, a single person on the council who has a history of advocating for queer rights. Because Carney has announced this thing during Pride Month. Everybody keeps talking about it during Pride Month, but they haven't talked about queer people at all, really. It's also worth noting that the other women on the council, while I couldn't find anything in their bios that said that they were overtly queer, just looking at them, I wouldn't be surprised if either of them got 2 drinks in and started telling me how they totally get what I go through as a gay guy. They knew this girl at camp, and let's just say love was love all night, especially the one who has a history of speaking for Campus Crusade for Christ. Realistically, though, no matter who's on this committee, it seems a little doubtful that they'll be able to convince the federal government to do anything of merit, because the committee is clearly designed as a way for the government to suggest that they're doing something about the supposed rampant anti Semitism online. Because if you listen to Israeli funded organizations, you can't browse the web for 5 minutes without algorithms pointing you towards anti Semitic content. Of course, examples of this widely available content, they don't really give. It seems that their definition probably includes things like Hassan Piker thirst traps, or Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland talking about which American politicians are owned by the AIPAC lobby, or Mehdi Hassan asking people why a country would need to defend itself with explosives against children who can't read yet, or why that same country would use children who can't read yet in honeypots against prominent American figures to ensure compliance. It's worth noting that this sort of content isn't anti Semitic, it's antiseptic.